Caitlin Clark calling out referees by name. While Stephanie White is busy scared in the press conference, I don't want to say anything. Caitlin Clark saying, nope, I'm going to speak about it. While Stephanie White isn't even saying DeWanna Bonner or Alyssa Thomas's name in the press conference, sticking up for her players. Stephanie White, all you had to do in the press conference was say, hey, the players on the other team, they were playing dirty all game.
Another scandal is currently engulfing the WNBA, but this one is distinct. It's not a hard foul argument. This isn't an unnamed source with a grudge or a gossip from the locker room. This one is clearly visible on camera and has matching audio. During a victory over the Phoenix Mercury on June 22nd, Caitlin Clark, one of the most watched athletes in professional basketball at the moment, received her 5th technical foul of the 2026 season. Additionally, she approached referee Gerda Gatling and inquired about the purpose of the technical. Gatling responded to her in a way that no one watching could fully comprehend. Gatling informed her that the technical was for clapping, for using a professional basketball court to clap her hands.
Tonight, 5th of the season.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I got a technical for clapping. So, if we should all just go on the calendar now and pick a game that I'm going to be suspended for if I'm going to get technicals for clapping. I asked Gerda. Gerda said that I got a technical for clapping. So, if any technical should be taken away, it should be that one. If it's truly for clapping, that's what they said they gave it to me for was for clapping. So it's just ridiculous. I don't.
After the last whistle, Clark did not refrain. Still full of energy, she approached the podium and expressed her thoughts. She added, and this is important, that referee Gerda Gatling informed her that the technical was for clapping and provoking. And when Clark heard that word, provoking, she responded to Gatling in a way that encapsulated the whole circumstance. All right, so you simply dislike competitive basketball, she remarked. That's just the facts. That's the way things are. Take a moment to consider that.
Aware do you have to be of the 8 technical fouls?
I mean, I'm going to play with emotion. I'm going to play with passion. And if they're going to give me a technical foul for clapping, then so be it. That's their choice. And the league can come back and review that play, and I'd love to hear what they say of the reasoning of why I got the technical foul in that situation and why other players on their team didn't get a technical foul in that situation. If anything, split it. Okay, fine. Everybody gets a technical foul. That wasn't how they were handed out. So I'd love to know. But obviously, that's what I went to Gerda and said. I said, why'd you give me a technical foul? She said, because I was clapping and instigating. I said, okay, then you just don't like competitive basketball. And that's just facts. That's just reality. So disappointing from them.
Standing at a microphone, a player who just won a basketball game and finished with 24 points and 9 assists tells the world that she is already mentally planning her impending suspension because the officiating has gotten to the point where it is now illegal for her to clap her hands on a WNBA floor. That's the current situation. This is
And see, Stephanie White, man, she is part of the problem. And she don't like when Caitlin hype up the crowd. That's what the people want to see, man. That's what the people pay the big money for, man. Let the face of the league be the face of the league, man. She feeds off of that energy, man. The whole team feeds off that energy, man. And Stephanie White, we want to stop that, bro. That's crazy. But yeah, Caitlin tired of these so-called bullies, man. And next game, y'all got to watch AT, because she probably going to try to hurt somebody, man. You know how they do. But anyway, man, this is our real rivalry. They keep trying to make that girl over there in Atlanta our rivalry. That is not our rivalry, man. So I'm going to be honest, this is our real rivalry.
This is the complete image, and it's crucial that you see it all at once because each call could appear to be unique on its own. Less than half a season, 5 technical fouls. Leave that alone. One occurred during a game sequence delay that was deemed questionable by the majority of live analysts. Another occurred during a game against the Atlanta Dream. Clark was already furious at a foul call that she wanted Stephanie White to dispute from the bench, but White never did.
About Caitlin Clark and her technical fouls. Caitlin Clark got 2 technical fouls, or so we thought. The first one, the ball gets tipped out of bounds, she goes to get it, she kicks it off of her foot, thinking it'll go against the scores table and then come right back to her. But it didn't. Went off the side and kind of rolled down the court. She hustled after it, gave it back to the ref, and he called her for a bench technical for the delay of game. That goes against the bench, not against Caitlin Clark. Later, she did get a technical on her own at the end of the game when she argued a call with the ref. Once she hits 7, she has to sit out.
Then there was the altercation at the post-game podium where Clark specifically called out referee Tyler Murkovich because she thought the officiating during the game was just wrong. Let's move on to number 5. In the fourth quarter, there was a technical foul for clapping at the free throw line during a clearly emotional moment. 5 distinct scenarios, 5 distinct games, and 5 whistles all pointing in the same direction. You cease referring to a pattern as coincidental when it occurs so frequently. Currently, the conversation.
Caitlin Clark, she'll speak up for herself at least. She'll stand up for herself at least. And instead of speaking in generalities, she said, you know what? I'm going to name referees by name from now on. If you give me a technical foul and all I did was clap, I'm going to name you by name. So that next time we play this team, next time we play a game and you're refereeing my games and my fans see who's refereeing, we're like, oh, that's the one. That Gerda, that's...
The chat that is currently making the rounds is the one that Clark had with Gerda Gatling in the middle of the game, right on the court, prior to the press conference and the podium announcement. Calm but obviously unhappy, Clark approached and requested Gatling to explain the call. Clark did not scream when Gatling stated it was for clapping.
She didn't toss anything.
She simply expressed her thoughts while glancing at the official. It was clapping and provoking, Gatling informed her. In response, Clark said that the officials just don't appreciate competitive basketball if applauding is provoking. And this is what makes that conversation quite crucial. Clark was correct. After a foul call, loudly applauding is not provocative. It's a response. It's a feeling. When a competitor disagrees with a call, she naturally responds by using her body language instead of her words to convey her disagreement. Every night, athletes perform this in every sport at every level. You should pay attention to the fact that a professional referee noticed that and pulled out her whistle. Right now, here.
They said that Caitlin got it for clapping, and so I guess that's taunting. And then I was talking to the officials about it when the other stuff happened, so I didn't really see exactly what was happening at the time. But look, like, it's competitive sport. Like, that stuff happens. I felt like the officials did a good job, after everything of getting it under control. I appreciate the way they called it after that, certainly. But as a group, we have to be able to have our moment and then regroup and play with poise and composure. It can't continue to go.
This is where the narrative takes a turn that many people are discussing, and not in a way that is good for the coaching staff of the Indiana Fever. Naturally, media questioned Stephanie White on Clark's 5th technical foul following the game, regarding a call that her top player had declared in public to be absurd, regarding a circumstance that now puts Clark 3 technicals away from being suspended for 1 game. And the reply from Stephanie White? She didn't approach the podium with a bang. The technical foul was not deemed ludicrous by her. She failed to support her player as the situation required. Rather, she gave thoughtful, measured responses, and in the end, the biggest voice in the room was Clark's own fury after the game. Online viewers were unimpressed. It was summed up succinctly in one comment that went viral. I'm still waiting on Stephanie White to receive a technical foul for defending her teammates, in particular, Caitlin Clark. That comment struck a chord because it expressed something genuine. You don't respond calmly when your star player is at a platform telling everyone that she has already decided which game she would miss during her ban. You go to the mat for her.
I cannot stress enough how much I hate Stephanie White. Like, it is not one of these things where it's like, oh, you're I think she's a sabotaging Caitlin, all this stuff. Like, I'm not gonna go that far. Albeit, if you are someone that's gone that far, I am not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna stop you. I think trying to believe that someone is a good person is not a bad mentality to have towards things. But I will stand by this. I hate her.
Additionally, Stephanie White has allowed Caitlin Clark to handle a referee problem on her own on multiple occasions this season, including the clapping technical. Return to the June 2026 matchup with the Atlanta Dream. After stopping Jordan Canada's drive to the hoop, Clark was given her 5th foul of the game. Clark was stunned by the foul call. Without delay, she turned to face Stephanie White on the bench. Body language conveys everything, and eyes are wide. encouraging her coach to contest the ruling. There was never a challenge. The whistle was raised. Clark became quite irritated, and White remained on her bench without employing a challenge that might have altered the game's course. Coaches now have strategic justifications for handling their difficulties. That is undeniable. However, the locker room remembers the moment your guy is standing in the middle of the court, clearly requesting backup, and the bench falls silent. Clark has now gone through that experience multiple times.
Foul, and everybody else on the other team didn't get a technical foul. If we're handing out technical fouls for clapping, how come I got a technical and nobody else did? Gerda. Oh, you just don't like competitive basketball then? Oh, okay. Interesting. And then she says, I want the league to review it and get back to me. I want the league to review it and get back to me. Let me know why you decided to give me a technical, and hopefully it makes some sense to me.
This is the question that everyone involved in basketball must now consider. Additionally, there are two potentially harmful replies to it. Referee Gerda Gatling and a few of her co-workers have a particular prejudice toward Caitlin Clark, which means they are treating her differently than they are treating every other player on the floor. Or they just dislike Clark's expressive, competitive, and emotional approach to the game. According to the first response, officiating in this league has become targeted and personal. In some ways, the second response is worse since it implies that those who are compensated to uphold competition integrity are intentionally punishing the exact characteristics that define great basketballists: a competitor's passion, emotion, and music that stems from their intense desire to win every possession. The experiences that people genuinely seek out in stadia. If the referees consider competitive energy as a threat to be controlled rather than a characteristic to be applauded, they are whistling that out of the game. This league has a problem that goes much beyond one bad call on a Monday night.
How was she taunting them, clapping? I don't, you can't even find her in the video. Like, you can't even find her on the video clapping in anyone's face. You can't find her on the video. I mean, if you can find the video for me, if someone has the video, send it to me. I want to see it, because I did not see video of her clapping in anyone's face, because it was Sophie Cunningham that was doing all this. And it was hilarious, but it wasn't Caitlin Clark. And then it was Maisha Hines-Allen going back and forth with Alyssa Thomas.
Following Clark's public remark, the social media uproar, and 2 days of the sports world repeatedly watching that 10-second tape, the league examined the technical. The WNBA found itself in a difficult situation. They examined the call. They watched the video. They examined referee Gerda Gatling's choice to give Caitlin Clark a technical foul for clapping her hands. They also revoked it. The most crucial word in the entire narrative is revoked, because it is not common practice to revoke a technical foul. The league is stating formally that it was improper to make the call. The WNBA is admitting that one of its officials made a ruling on a professional court that was so far outside the bounds of appropriate officiating that the league had to retract it. The review was requested by Clark. The league should hear the explanation and determine whether it is valid, according to Clark. She was correct. She was also fully supported by the league's own review. However, here
Thing with Caitlin Clark, when she feels she deserves technical fouls, she'll come out in the press conference and say, you know what? I deserved that one. You know what? I earned that technical foul. She's done that on multiple occasions this year alone. But when we're slapping the stanchion rookie season and getting a technical, then she'll say, what are we doing here? When she gets a technical for clapping, lights on, lights off, the clapper. When she gets a technical foul for clapping, that's when she says, now we're getting
the technical was canceled.
Great.
With that, Clark now has 4 technical fouls this season. However, 8 is the suspension threshold. For miles away, the second half of the season is still to come. Furthermore, the call pattern that first brought her to 5 has not altered. There has been no change in the referees allocated to fever games. On a basketball court, Clark is still held to the same standards when she claps, reacts, and displays emotion. Therefore, the question is not whether the technical clapping was correct or incorrect. The league has already responded to that. What will happen in the upcoming game, the one after that, and the one after that is the question. Because this suspension discussion won't end if the officiating doesn't change and Caitlin Clark continues to be held to the same standards as the entire season. It is merely paused.
It's crazy. It's absolutely bananas. This league is a joke. Good job, Kathy. Regular foul. The tech was for clapping to the fans earlier. Who cares? Who cares? This is probably why Stephanie White doesn't challenge fouls concerning Cece. Even with video evidence, the refs are still going to go against Cece. It's so obvious.
The league as a whole, including its management, officials, and coaching staff, must accept this fact. Caitlin Clark is more than simply a basketball player. The WNBA's current viewership figures are a result of her. Areas that were just half full 3 years ago are now selling out months ahead of schedule thanks to her. She is the reason this league has national broadcast agreements, which did not exist prior to her arrival. The growth is genuine. There is an actual audience. The WNBA is currently experiencing a genuine cultural moment. It is brittle in the same way that all excellent things are brittle when those in charge of them begin to make choices that do not safeguard the product. For clapping, referee Gerda Gatling called a technical foul. It had to be revoked by the league. Stephanie White failed to defend her player at the podium as the situation demanded. And Caitlin Clark continued to do what she always does. She asked the difficult questions, named individuals, and said what needed to be said before going on to win the game.
You know what I like about Caitlin? She's growing as a person. She's finding her voice. She's saying, you know what? Since, over there don't want to stick up for me, Miss closed the fist on her mouth every time there's a moment where she's supposed to speak up. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to speak out through the press conference. I think she needs to do that more often. She's not complaining. She had a legit reason. I mean, clapping, okay, being silly, but stop. That's not technical. Matter of fact, she was trying to do this. She was like, yeah, come on, guys. She was trying to pump up the crowd. She was trying to do something positive in the moment.
The narrative here is that because the officiating has become so inconsistent, the player who is contributing the most to the growth of this league, the player who fills arenas, drives ratings, and carries the national conversation about women's basketball, is standing at post-game press conferences planning her own suspension. And when the situation called for a fight, the coach behind her podium is responding calmly. Clark is battling for herself since no one else was fighting loudly enough for her at times like this. The technical was revoked. The event is captured on camera. The pattern has been documented. Now that the fans are watching, the question is what the WNBA does with all of that. Additionally, the supporters are closely following every call this season, in contrast to some of the refs.